Hey guys, so I recently got a new used BMW for my son, and it's nice, but the problem is it's a little bit older than CarPlay and backup camera technology and things like that. So if you have this screen, there's navigation, but there's no backup camera, there's no CarPlay, there's no Bluetooth or anything like that. So I got this today, and we're going to install it, and we should be able to get CarPlay, we should get a backup camera, Bluetooth, wireless capabilities. So let's give it a shot. All right, so let's take a look at what's in the box. AUTOABC, smart screen. Okay, manual, it's for BMW. That's what we got. First, let's take a look at this. All right, so this is the screen itself. This is for the BMW e90, e91, e93, I think. But yeah, it should fit in perfectly. It looks like it would be a straight swap. Okay. Also, in addition, they have the cables. So this will go into the back of your original stereo system, and this will be able to tap into all the wires. So I think that's the philosophy. You put it in, so actually one side would go in from that would normally go in the back of your stereo. You could tap into all these wires, and this would go to the back of the stereo, and from there you got all these other things which we're going to need. And one of them will be this is the backup camera, so that's very important. We have that too, because I don't have a backup camera. We're going to need that. Okay, good. USB cable, so you plug this in and you could use CarPlay through this USB cable. I guess you could also charge your phone through this USB cable. And the auxiliary cables. This is the audio out, so you hook this up into the auxiliary input of your current system, and that should give you your auxiliary system audio, which this would be connected to. All right, so let's give it a shot. All right, and for the backup camera, I have this HD camera, and it should fit the BMW perfectly. Here's the power, and here's the RCA cable that goes into the unit. Adapters. But here's the key. So it uses the trunk lifting mechanism of your current car. You take that out, replace it with this, and it should give me a nice clean look with the video camera right there. All right. I think that's going to be perfect. Let's hook it up. We're going to remove this. We don't have to remove it completely, I don't think. Just pop it out so that we could free up the stereo and free up that. So if you got some of these plastic tools to pry open things without scratching your surface, that's ideal. But if you're not firm, it won't come out. Okay, it looks like it's coming. All right. Okay, so I think that's all we need to do. That should loosen up these areas for us to take out these other things. So hopefully that's all we have to do to take that out. And down here, I think we should be able to just pull this out. All right. And what you want to do is you want to take out these pins. It's like you press right here to release that. Oh, didn't click it back far enough. There we go. So same thing here. Little pin right there, push down. Bring that all the way back till it clicks. That's what I did wrong the first time. And then this band looks like pinch the two sides to get it out. Okay, so that's free. Let's just put that aside for now. So we need to access this stereo right here. So let's see. Okay, take out this plate. And again, try not to be too aggressive. You don't want to break any of the pins. But if you're too soft, nothing will come out. All right. Okay. This is what the pins look like. So you know what you're trying to pull out. So don't try to twist it too much because it comes out. Looks like it comes pretty straight. So let's just put this aside for now. All right. There's a cable right there, and I just want to free it up a little bit. Let it swing a little freer. Okay, so now that we got this guy, all right, so next up we need to remove these screws right here, and there's 4 of them. All right, we should be able to pull it out now. All right, let me get a towel so that when we rest it here, nothing will get scratched up. Towel. So let's take it out. Careful. All right, so those are the plugs back there we need to get to, so we need to remove those plugs. All right, so what we did was we unplugged all the stuff, and the reason why I couldn't film it was just too wedged in here, so you kind of had to leave it in there, pull it out before you could actually pull out the full stereo. Sorry, you just kind of have to, press the pins to release them. And for this one over here, the big one, you open it up right there before you pull it out, and that's how you lock it in. Okay, so it's a little tricky. All right, so here's the original plug, and I have the optical wire. There's black and green lines I need to pull out. All right, so I think there's a tab right here. Kind of push down and pull at the same time to get it out. All right, so we got that out. I needed all 4 hands. So you push down that tab and then you pull it out. This tab right here, you push down that tab, and you need maybe you need another person to pull it out like we did. But okay, so that's free now, and this will go into your new port, the back of the new one. The green was on the bottom. Put this back here, and it was on the furthest most, like that. Okay. So now we're gonna take that new one, and we're going to connect it. Remember, open that. Then you can connect it and then lock it in. Okay, so now we've successfully tapped into the car. From here, we plug this into the back of the stereo. All right, so according to the manual, this is a reserved port, and we don't need to connect it to anything. But what we do need to connect is this auxiliary right here, because we do have an auxiliary port in this car. So I need to unplug this guy, use the auxiliary port that they have, and plug him in there, and then that will go to the aux port later. All right, so this aux jack, I'm just going to put it down there for now. We'll route it later, but I want to put it down there. All right, so what I did was I put up a hanger wire underneath, and we're going to take that auxiliary, and we're going to put some tape on it. And when you put some tape on it, make sure you cover up the tip so that the tip doesn't get caught out anything. You see that? So it's gotta be kind of clean like that. All right, so let's fish it out. All right, so we got it through the outside. We'll pull the wire out and we'll just let it sit for now because we didn't take this out fully. The angle's a little bit tricky, so I'm using this to get out these screws right here. It's a Torx. All right, now we should be able to pull this out. Okay. All right. See the back, and we're gonna unplug these. All right, so first we're gonna pull out this side. Okay. And then this side's a little bit trickier. Let's see what the pins look like. So here you push down on this right here, and you're able to free that out. Click it down, and then you remove that. Okay, so this is your old screen. All right, so here's the external USBs if you want to use it. You know, we decided we will never use the external USBs, so we're not going to connect it, but if you do, you'll have to route it up, and I recommend you come from here and then bring it up to the unit here. But for right now, what we need to do is bring these ports up to our new display unit. All right, so I got the hanger fished through, and what we're going to do is same thing. We're going to tape it and then pull it up. So we got that tied through, and it's definitely better to have a second person help you if you can. Go ahead. One person push, one person pull. Okay, now we got all those ports up. Perfect. All right, so let's plug it in and test it out before we put everything back. Test out the stereo, and then we'll test out the backup camera. Tight to get in. I think that's in. We'll test it in a second. We'll see. All right, how do we want to do this? Just kind of put it down for now. Just put it right there. Let's plug in the stereo. All right, we're gonna plug everything back into the stereo, just the way we did it, but backwards. That auxiliary line, we're gonna plug it in there, and now we're gonna test out the unit. We have some power, that's a good thing. All right, looks like we got, I can't leave the audio on because I'll get a copyright, but there's definitely audio. All right. Okay, so now let's test the backup camera. So for the camera, there's a video jack that's going to be backup camera, and there is also a camera power. So we're going to use the camera power and the backup jack are the two ports we're going to use with the camera. All right, so I got the camera video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect that power line to this, and I'm going to use just a butt connector for that. Just a little more. Okay. Okay, now I should have positive power, but not ground. So let's hook up the camera as a test. Okay, so remember that that yellow wire that we connected to the stereo power? That's here. We're going to connect it to the power of the camera right there. And this, we need to find a chassis ground just to test it out, and you know, we'll probably just connect it to that right there. All right, we had to fool around with a lot of the settings to get this to work, but we got it. All right, so now that we confirmed the camera is working, we need to route the camera up. So what I need to do is I need to get that camera line. We're gonna route it up through here, up to here, and then we'll route it up to there just like we did the last time. All right, we got it through to this side. So now we're gonna have to fish it to come up there like we did the last time for the jacks on that. All right, there, now it's fished up from down there up here. Let's connect everything. Okay, remember we're gonna reconnect that power. I'm gonna use a wire nut. Oh well. Okay, that backup camera to backup video in. All right, let's get everything back in. All right, we'll screw that back in. Got those screws back in, so let's put all these things in backwards of what we did. Yep, getting everything back in was pretty hard, trying to squeeze it all in, but you just got to do it. Okay, that's clicked back in. We need the AC unit. Plug all that back in. All right, lock them in. And yeah, you're gonna scratch up your hands and your knuckles doing this. All right, let's get back in. Okay, and then lastly, let's get this one back in. Get in. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tuck it underneath here. Nothing fancy. Get it out of the way. All right, so the wires are just tucked underneath there, and it comes out right there, up and over, just like that. It's not real neat, but it's good enough. This is for the reverse camera. I don't want to do any removing of all the panels, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tuck. I'm going to tuck it underneath. Okay, see, I'm just going to keep tucking underneath this. I'm not going to remove any of the trims, or at least I'm going to try not to, because that's a pain in the butt. Right, so this chair, there should be a pin where you can just lift up. There we go. All right, so you can see there's two pins, one there, one there. You just got to yank hard. All right, so I remove the covers. You take out the pins over here and remove the covers to expose the battery. I'm just going to tap into the ground right there. I could do it somewhere in the frame, but, you know, the battery's right here. I'll tap into the ground there. And we'll see where we could get that line back. See some routing of lines right here. So if we just stay with these lines, we know we'll be safe from the convertible top. All right, so same thing. I pulled out this guy right here. All right, that's what it looks like in here, this peg. And it goes into this guy right here, this part right there. All right, so now we got these lines we could fish through and follow out to the back. All right, so we're gonna fish that through again. Yeah, go ahead, pull. got it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so good. We're gonna be careful to not run the line anywhere that would interfere with the convertible top, and we'll tie it to the current lines right here. So, you know, we know those lines are good. So we'll zip tie it to those lines and then route it up and around, and then go along here because we know that path is good also. All right, so let's take out all these pegs and to remove the cover so that we can access the handle over there. You zip tied the lines along this, coming up here, and that's as long as it goes. So once we get this cover off, we can continue the connection and go back there. In addition to all these pegs, you gotta take this guy off right here too. There's a little pin right there to release it. First we need to take out, I took out this side already. We need to take out that, kind of push it that way and then down. Yep. Okay, now we should be able to get underneath. So we'll try not to get the pipe. So we're just gonna try to get this thing off right here. Actually, it comes off pretty easy.
Not gonna get much of anything.
Yeah, that comes off pretty easy. All right, so we remove that, and we need to take out this pin right here. And that goes into the new one. There's the old one. So the line wasn't long enough, so I needed to get an extension. So I got an RCA extension, but we got the wire through, and we're gonna fish that line out. All right, so we got the camera back in, and we're gonna put all this stuff back and then route the ground, tie the power and route the ground to the battery, and we're done. All right, so we got all the wiring in, tapped to the ground of the battery, and that's it. We're done. CarPlay is in there, all ready to go. Touchscreen works. It's a nice clean install. Let's go in reverse. Nice. All right, all done.